There are real questions about what contingencies were on the table in the State Department to increase the security in Libya. So I applaud you for continuing to pursue this story. There's conflicting evidence coming out, and some of it is not comforting.
Ambassador Williamson, just back to John Berman's original question, let me just phrase it to you again, because again, to quote you, for the first time since Jimmy Carter, we've had an American ambassador assassinated. Yeah. Are you saying that had Mitt Romney been president, this wouldn't have happened?
Well, first, it's just a fact that we haven't had an ambassador assassinated since Jimmy Carter's presidency. Second, I do think that Governor Romney, who has a view of the Middle East, that is stable and secure, where people's dignity and pluralism and economic opportunity are recognized, can be achieved. But it has to be achieved with U.S. leadership, and U.S. leadership from the front, not behind. It means giving technical assistance to the people.
So given all of these things you're pointing out, would it have been prevented had Mitt Romney been president? You're his foreign policy guy.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the differences would have been, one of the differences was Obama cut the assistance to democracy and civil society groups in Egypt dramatically when he came into office. The result
with all due
was
respect,
in
sir, yes or no?
10. With all due respect, answers are more complicated, so give me just 30 seconds.
Sure, you got it.
The U.S. government cut assistance to the reformers for 2 years. When Tahrir Square began, the Vice President of the United States said Mubarak was a reformer, a Democrat, the Secretary of State reformer. We didn't get out in front. The result was we didn't have relationships with the reformers. They didn't look to us. They didn't trust us. This gave room for the Muslim Brotherhood to succeed. We would be, Romney administration would be there, would be more active trying to work with civil society, with reform movements, so we would be partners in this evolution, not running behind and not seen as part of that. I think that changes the dynamic. And so, yes, there would be a difference.
Ambassador, just quickly, first of all, I don't see how changing our relationship with some of the reformers in Egypt has anything to do with the attack in Benghazi. But on this issue of America's alleged weakness in the Middle East, is it your position?
Let's talk about Benghazi then.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that.
Let's talk about Benghazi then.
Because it seems like you're drawing a straight line to what you view as the Obama administration's weakness, your word, in the Middle East, actually inviting these attacks on U.S. government officials and embassies. Is that your position?
My position is the world's better off when America leads, and so are other countries. Does our failure to do that contribute? Yes, it contributes, just as it's contributing to the chaos and deaths in Syria, where we now have 20,000 people killed, innocent people, and the U.S. has basically been missing in action as this has happened over the last 18 months. But if I can go back to Benghazi, one of the lessons of post-conflict situations was that you stay in after the authoritarian leader falls, and if you don't, it contributes to chaos and weak government. The Clinton administration did that in the Baltics and Kosovo. The Bush administration did that in Team Released and Sierra Leone. Excuse me, the Balkans.
Ambassador Williamson,
I apologize.
I apologize.
And we didn't do that in Libya.
We have to leave this here. Ambassador Richard
understand.
Williamson, former Assistant Secretary of State and Romney's Senior Foreign Policy Advisor. We appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much.
We have so many questions still this morning. Thank you, Ambassador. We do have so many questions still this morning about what's going on around the world. And a head-on starting point, he made the anti-Islamic movie that has spawned these violent protests against the U.S.